Dude, that fucking library. I love that.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sounds
What
like
is that? Law books? Is that Encyclopedia Britannica back
something
behind?
like
Oh,
that.
that's a real. Is that a real? Oh, I thought that was like a.
You got
I thought that was a
Uncle
green screen.
Uncle Willie's. I don't know.
oh dude,
Wiggly.
that's
Nice.
awesome.
We all. I thought that was a layover. I thought you. I thought that was a
No.
graphic. I'm like, oh shit, that's real.
That's how good it is.
Good for
Katie
you.
loves books, so she just like there's books all over the place.
That's awesome.
Nice. That's awesome, dude.
Did you read
Yeah,
any
we
of
all.
them?
Do I read?
Did you read any of those?
No, none
Except
of
for the
those.
Wiggly one?
Just the title. That's it.
You knew exactly where it was,
All right, what are we drinking? What's everybody drinking? I know I sell the wine. I have coffee today.
I just have some wine. It's my first wine in like a week.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, nice.
Got
All right.
a margarita.
Oh wow.
Nice. Oh, going hard. All right. Good thing it's going to be a hardcore podcast. It's going to be a hardcore episode today. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of
Excited
things.
to see you, man.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a while
I
for
know.
both of you. I mean, Jeff, I haven't seen you in a couple of years for sure.
I know, dude. Last time I was just telling Tony that the last time I saw you, I think you were my AC or something.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, good to see you, Ben.
Likewise.
All right, dude. You wanna get into this?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Take a sip of that margarita. Let's get into it. All right.
Cheers.
This is
Cheers.
Open
Yeah, cheers,
Walkie.
everybody.
Cheers. I'm Tony. Got Mr. Jeff Tan and our beautiful guest on his iPad, Alex
Yeah.
Perfect, camera operator. And
Thank you.
yeah, drinking his margarita. Love it. Yeah, let's get into the whole backstory. How'd you start out with this? I read your little stuff and it's fucking awesome. I want to talk about the dream job later, but
Yeah.
Same.
When I was younger, my dad gave me a SLR camera, and then I started like taking photos, and then it progressed to video, and then that was like when I was, I don't know, around 10 or something like that. That I would make little videos with. One of my earliest one was a bowling pin and a cat. So like the bowling pin and the cat would hang out, and like that was the video. And then, it became a hobby in school, and then I pursued it for a career. That was kind of like the start of the whole film industry for me.
what was the path? Like how'd you jump up to be a camera operator? What'd you go through?
You went from like
Yeah, wherever.
like-
I mean, you wanted to get into it since you were like little. Talk about the little the dream job you told me.
The dream-
Warren Miller.
Yeah, Warren
That's
Miller.
awesome.
Warren Miller was he was a big ski movie guy, so we'd make a lot of ski movies, and that was like I remember reaching out to him reaching out to the company a couple times and being like, "Yo, will you I'd internship or like I'd work for you, that kind of thing." No, never got back to me. But it was still like a dream, I'm still living, what I want to do. So
I'm sorry to say that
fail.
Warren Miller is dead, so I don't think you'll be working for him anytime soon.
No, the Warren.
He's dead, just like your dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Warren Miller does live on though. The entertainment does.
Yeah, no, I like when you
Nice.
said that, I was like, who's Warren Miller? And I looked him up, and I was like, oh, I've seen a bunch of shit that he's done.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
I just didn't know that was him.
he's got that voice. He's like, people say that like ski season doesn't start until you watch a Warren Miller film or until the most recent Warren Miller film comes out.
It's awesome. Yeah, he died.
That was the thing. Like he was the one that kind of like sparked your interest to like make these like.
No, I would
like the movie with the cat in the bowling pin.
No, I would say.
Speaking of cat,
No, it's my dog.
oh, it's a dog. I got it.
Yeah. No, though, I just had an interest in it when I was young. I did a lot of in-camera edits, so I would set the camera up on a tripod and then like go in one door and then come back out, and then I would piece it all together so it looked like you know, the whole Looney Tune thing where you run in this door and then all of a sudden you come out like the other side.
Nice.
So I would do like videos like that, just stupid stuff. I wish I kind of put it all on YouTube, because it's now all those videos are just sitting on hard drives that are never seen or even touched.
Well, do you have them still?
Somewhere. They're either on like mini DV tapes, CDs, nice, or on hard drives.
Yeah.
Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, you gotta find those, man.
Yeah. I talked to Cole, the DIT, and I asked him about like transferring it and stuff like that. He gave me some pointers. I didn't know that they still made adapters for like 400, like USB or like Firewire 400 and stuff like that. So
yeah, I had to track my own down to. Like, I started digitizing my home movies and stuff all on mini DVs. I have like shoe boxes of them, so I had to track those converters down just so I could import it into like modern computers and stuff.
Yeah. And then like,
you should do that.
I want to. I want to put it all. Like, I do have a YouTube channel. I want to put it all on there, just to have it. I wish I did it like from the start, because then it would obviously already be there. And you're always worried about like trying to save it, but like the technology at the time was CDs and
right.
Oh, for sure. You know how many like scratched DVDs and stuff that I have like just don't work. You know?
Yeah. CD rot and all that.
CD-ROMs. Oh man. The Big Al's guide service. Is that like an actual service? Like, do you take people out?
No, that's kind of like an inside joke. My buddy, who actually I used to make videos with him like way back when. Like he's probably my oldest friend. We'll do hikes together and stuff like that, and I'll pick out like objectives or anything like that, and it's just like it's fun to us, but it's like it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Like, it'll be like long stuff where like, hey, let's go run over 9 peaks and like over like 7,000 feet a gain. Let's go do that. And he's like, okay. So it's kind of like type 2 fun, and he kind of made up this persona. And he would always be like, oh, we're back on Big Al's shitty guide service, because it was always like he calls it a shitty time. So it was just like, it was a fun, it's like, it's a play on the shitty. Like, we didn't care. It was just a lot of fun. But that's where that kind of came from. And no, I don't guide anybody. I'll take them out, and like, if anybody reached out, I'd be like, listen, I'm not a real guide. I will gladly show you around the Catskills or like, wherever, whatever you want to do. But it's just it's a friendly thing. Yeah.
I mean, super outdoorsy, man. Like, every time I see your stuff, like, I want to get back to New York and come see you guys in Katy, and so you can take me out hiking and shit.
Yeah, for sure. You
don't have any of that stuff out there?
Yeah, I mean,
I do, right? But I don't have people out here. That's what I need.
Yeah. Either that or a dog.
Yeah, I got cats. They're indoor cats. But
put them on a leash.
Yeah, I'll take them in a backpack.
Backpack.
Yeah, with the one with the globe, Yeah,
I used to do that.
Why not? Dude, tell me I wanted to hear about the more about that stuff. Like, what's some of the coolest shit you've done? Like
a lot, like mostly climbing. I grew up climbing, so it's just kind of like a part of my soul. So yeah, like you'll come up with if you go to the gunks, you just go out, hang out with like friends, go climbing. You have your own goals that you want to set out, or you just want to go climbing for a day. Yeah, just pretty much being in the woods.
So when you're not working, you're basically outdoors. Basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's either with the dogs outdoors or like doing stuff around the house. Like we just kind of slowed down the house progress. Like, we had a bunch of work and stuff like that. We redid a couple of rooms. Okay. Yeah.
So you'd say your passion, other than the stuff that you do, the work that you do, is like just being outdoors, outdoor activities, out for sure, stuff like that. Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Clears the brain. it like, yeah, it just feels really good. I'll just like, I mean, sometimes I'll just go out with the dogs, just sit there, like you, like in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Nice.
No, I do that occasionally too. I've taken out like my snowshoes and everything and gone hiked up some like little mountains across the lake and everything. It's peaceful, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
hard to beat too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just be sitting there and all of a sudden, like, it'll be dead quiet. And all of a sudden you just hear a crow, like, call over you. And you're like, oh, wow. I mean, it's so simple, but I mean, or just how the forest feels after a snow. Like, you get out there in the morning and it's just like you're trudging through like silent powder. Like you don't hear anything. The forest is silent. It's just, it's a really nice place to be.
It's awesome. And you did the like you do a lot of backwoods skiing, right?
Yeah. That's most of the skiing stuff. Yeah,
that's so spots.
Have you done jobs that are out in the woods or out in the, like on the mountains and stuff like that? Like, and have you ever done projects and like stuff like that out in the woods and that you would normally hike in or like just be quiet in and just find yourself working?
No, I mean, like I would definitely do those jobs. Like I wanted to do like Deadliest Catch and stuff like that.
Yeah, grills.
Like Bear Grylls stuff, right?
Yeah, that would be fun. I think Deadliest Catch was like after I was in the film business for a while, it was like kind of a little bit of a turnoff because then I realized that you're like, oh wow, you're dealing with not only like shooting it, you're producing it, you're like dumping footage, and because they're not going to put all one man show on a boat. Yeah, exactly. So like I kind of like I was a little turned off on like that aspect. But I mean, like if it was something that I was passionate about, like I would definitely hop on a ski movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that would ruin the outdoors and stuff for you that day or that show? If you have to like, you can't like take it all in. You have to like,
be working,
be on point. Yeah, be on point.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought about that. And it's the same thing. Like why, like I've looked into like rock climbing guiding or like hiking guiding and stuff like that for New York State. I looked into that, but I didn't want that to kill my passion, like you're saying.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And with film, I mean, it started out as a hobby, and then once I started doing professionally, it did kind of like I didn't really want to. The hobbies like started to fade away, like the hobby part where you're like, I don't really want to do this because I'm doing this full time, for a job. And then with the kind of going back to the original questions, like, I, sometimes, it's like, I'd rather be the person skiing than the person like sitting there freezing their ass off, waiting for a skier to come down, and get the shot. And then all that work, I mean, like, because if you're trudging through like 3 to 4 feet of powder with your skis on, plus with all that gear, it's like, that's a ton of work.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, could be worse places to be, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, if you look at like the grand scheme of things, I mean, you could definitely be like shoveling shit out of like, somewhere.
I feel like that's a big like pot with kind of ruins the hobby aspect when you do this shit, like shooting on a show for 6 days a week for 2.5 months, and then you don't really want to go out and do shit on your own afterwards.
Yeah, I think the newer technology, like smaller, like I mean, like I putting together my most recent like big outpost, that was all done with GoPro and stuff like that, and that was kind of fun, just shooting it and then literally like dropping it onto the iPhone and just editing it real quick on the iPhone. Like I think that's fun. But I feel like when you start pulling in different a bunch of different like actual audio or like big cameras, you get film involved, then it's like then it starts to become like kind of a job.
Yeah.
I've
tried to do that too.
Yeah, and there are plenty of projects that I've done that I've done like halfway, and then I just gave up because I was like bummed out about it. You got like got overwhelming. You're like, I just need a break.
No, it is. I mean, it's like when you do that on your own and you don't have a big crew or anything, and it's like takes the fun out of it in a way.
Yeah.
depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Or depending, I mean, like what you're passionate about, or like your audience. If you're not reaching a big audience, I don't know. Like you start thinking to yourself, is this really worth it? Is it more of a?
Y'all get discouraged. It's like you think no one's going to watch anything, but yet it could be something great if you actually just follow through with it.
Yeah. Lately,
like this.
Yeah,
like this right now. Yeah.
Like this. Who knows? It's like, well, I mean, we're doing this because I want to promote other people. I want to get, people to know each other. We want to kind of
tell people stories.
I think it's always fun to know. You work with people so long, and you don't know shit about them, really. It's like, dude, I've worked with you on a million shows, and like half of the shit that we're talking about, I didn't know much.
Yeah,
at that time, we're just like, I don't want to know you anyways. It's fine.
Yeah. No, but it's good though, and it's like to share like what you're doing outside and everything. I mean, I don't know. I think it's important for me, and the way that I see things is, if I think something's important, other people are going to think the same thing, because everybody's like, it's a connection in a way. And,
or you're interested. You're like, you get to talk at work, but you don't really like. It's always the kind of like pillow talky stuff, or like you do get down.
My pillow talk's a little bit different at work, but I hear you.
Well, but like it's like, if you haven't seen, I don't know, depending on how well the actual, the person you're talking to, or like I don't know, you just kind of sit down, you kind of say the same old things, like, oh, how's it going? What have you been doing? Or what have you been working on? Blah blah blah, and then like it kind of fades away, or you're like, oh, I gotta go because
you have the same conversation over and over again with the same. With a whole bunch of different people. So
you really can't get into it other than like, what did we work on last? And what are you working on next? And then maybe a wrap drinks. And then I'm like, oh, I'll see you when I see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is great. No, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
It's nice. And then, you meet other people and stuff like that. And hopefully, it catches on where people want to do this, and it just gets you, gets you motivated that you see people with the same interests and everything. All that. What's the photo contest you won?
Oh, I did. I entered into it's actually right here. It's the it's DEC. So every year the DEC puts together a photo contest, and then like there's like three or how many winners? There's 6 winners, and then your photo is put into a booklet, or it's like, I mean, I haven't seen it on any like billboards, but I'm sure that they like, I mean, it's also I Love New York. So that's their, the campaign. So, I mean, like if you ever go on a subway and you see I Love New York signs for like the outdoors and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that they're connected.
Gotcha. So you won like an entry or something like that?
Yeah, I won the category connecting with the outdoors, and it was a photo of a buddy fly fishing.
I remember seeing that.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, try it.
It's that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude, I remember seeing that. It was sick.
Yeah,
good for you, man.
Yeah,
that was just you were out fly fishing, or?
Yeah, he and his brother would fly fish, and then his brother passed away. So then he kind of he grew even more into it. And that was like one time I went out with him. We were in the Adirondacks, and we paddled up this river, and then ditched the canoe because it got too shallow. And then we just started walking around, and it was really early, and we just happened to be like in front of some sunbeam, and I was like, oh shit, that's like awesome. And then I snapped a couple photos.
What's the goal moving forward? Like, I know you don't want to, like most of us don't want to be a camera operator in reality television.
Yeah. What are your hopes and dreams? What's your 5-year plan?
Hopes and dreams.
5-year plan is still going to be working in the film industry. It's my only source of income. It's a really tough thing to walk away from, just because of the pay. And I mean, it is it's not the easiest work, but the amount, it's kind of, I always thought that it was kind of ridiculous how much, I mean, I love that we get this, the amount of money we get, but it's like, it's hard to beat. Like you definitely, anywhere you'd move on to, you'd take a pay cut.
Yeah.
So you have to really really enjoy it, or, you know, a complete change of lifestyle.
Yep.
What do you like most about it?
The
like
scheduling.
that keeps you in it. That keeps you in it. Like to your point of like the pay and get to do what we do, and then but like still like you still have to like it or love it to like kind of stick with it. What's it for you?
The scheduling is really big part of it. I like the fact that you can work for a month and like you just dedicate your life to that for a month, and then after that show you just kind of screw off for, you know, a month or two at a time. I mean, you don't have to, but
screw off and go in the woods for a month.
That's a huge, that's one of the major draws. You also, like, for me, you do save money on it because they feed you, like, you know, every 6 hours. So that's like huge money saver. But I mean, I do enjoy it. It is a everyday like shooting and stuff like that. You're always finding, you're like, how can I make the shot better? You know, so it's like you're striving to make yourself a better shooter, or you're like compose better shots, or like think different ways. Like, oh, like if I'm in a stack with cameras, and also like, you know, like I know that I can get a certain shot and like maybe no one else can, and like in a lull, I'll like show it to the director, see if they buy it. If they don't, then like just never show it again. But I mean, like, it feels good if they do like it and they're like, oh, like, yeah, I'll take that every once in a while, you know? Like that feels good. So yeah, just like another thing to perfect, I guess, or to strive at being good at.
Yeah. You'd say that's what your favorite thing about being a shooter? Because, you know, obviously, you know, me and Tony we're shooters, we're, you know, always will be in our hearts, always will be shooters. But you know, you think that you'd say that that's your favorite thing about like shooting is like, you know, just telling the story through the shot, trying to make it better, like, you know, and try to, you know, always constantly strive to get a better shot. Like, that's kind of like what you like about it?
Yeah, I like that. And nice. Working as a team too. Like it's amazing to be like, you know, with other operators and just like doing the dance and being like, you know, just you can look over and be like, oh, I know what they're shooting already, so I'm gonna go pick this up, and like, you know, so like it definitely a big camaraderie thing, especially, I mean, even production as a whole, like you're there. Like I love traveling shows. Those are great because I mean, like you're there to do it. I was out in California for barbecue and I got COVID, and like you get taken out of the game, and just like you're just like, why am I here now? Like I'm just sitting in a hotel, and you're like, it's not why I came out here. It's like like COVID pay, like sitting around for 5 days is all right, but like I'm here to work.
Yeah.
You know, back to like the dancing, when you like, you know, you know, as camera ops, we know like the dance, like as reality ops, I think it's the best thing when you get on a crew and just everyone knows what the fuck's going on. Like, and you just in a group and it's a big scatter, and then you have like 5 or 6 different ops and everyone kind of knows what's going on. It's like that. I think that's one of the best feelings that kind of like kept me going with stuff, is when you actually get like, you know, the right people in there that know what they're doing. And it's, and then the opposite, when you have people that don't move, like just
right. The difference between a crew that, like, when you get into a crew that clicks and just gets it, it's a great feeling. I kind of like I kind of miss being in those trenches and stuff like that. And you're going through basically a traumatic experience together. And but everybody's on the same team. But then when, like, just like Billy said, like when you have a crew that completely doesn't get it, or you're not in sync, everybody's just spinning around circles.
It's a big team. It's a big team thing. And no, I mean, you get it. Like with directors, like we've all been there, where it's like you lose a job because a new director comes in and then they bring in their own people, or like, you know, or you get a job because your director that you work with all the time and people lost their job from that. But it's like, I mean, I get it, because as a director, I would do the same thing. It's like, you want the people that you know what they can do, you know? It's like, you want to have to teach people. And
I mean, it's the same thing for us. It's like, I'd be like, well, you'd probably learn the negatives, but like, I don't, like, I'll shoot with that guy, or like that lady, but I know that their weaknesses, you know, and it's like, all right.
Yeah. So it's like you see people on the call sheet and you're like, okay, not that you don't like the person as a person, but it's like, sometimes it's like, you know, you just don't like working with them in a sense. And
Yeah, sometimes you just know when you look at the culture, you're like, oh, it's going to be a rough one today. Just by the crew, or like you're saying, like you guys are saying, like you kind of know that certain attributes and stuff like that. I used to be like that, like in my earlier days, like because obviously when you get onto a crew that and everybody it's going to be a good day. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fun one. You read the sheet, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fun one. Jokes, and filled with like some really good like coverage and things like that. And then there are other days where you don't, but like it's something I miss. Also,
I mean, you can only control yourself in the end.
Of course. Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't take from that sometimes, is you can only control yourself. And, we've all gotten upset. That's
dude, yeah. We've all gotten salty.
Except for Perfect. I feel like he doesn't get upset at all.
No,
he's super chill.
Perfect.
He keeps it inside. He keeps it all in here.
Try to keep it try to keep it professional.
Keeps it all in his beard.
There are definitely times where I've
it's all in the beard.
Yeah. Definitely times where I've spoken out. I'm like, I just shouldn't have opened your mouth. You should have just kept it closed.
I mean, hey, I feel you.
Yeah.
We all got that. We're human.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. You got to vent.
So, with Katie, she's in the DR. So how's that when she's like and stuff like that? How long you guys like see each other a lot? Do you talk a lot? What do you do?
Yeah, like we talk, like usually it's a lot via text. And then, but like, phone calls and stuff like that. Sometimes you're like, oh, like sweet. Like if let's say if you're like have like 3 months together or something like that, it's also kind of nice to get like just like 2 weeks at like of the house by yourself kind of thing. Yeah. And then, but
work with each other.
Say what?
It's like you guys work with each other too on
and
stuff, so it's nice.
Like, so we'll do like she's coming back from the DR, and then right away, like they're flipping the set for Beat Bobby, so we'll both be there starting next week for her. I'll probably either go back Wednesday or Thursday, depending on rehearsals.
I like this segment. It's Alex Perfect's tips on relationships in the industry. Teach me something, man. I'm maintaining a relationship in this industry, and teach me something.
Yeah, you don't want to hear it from me.
I mean, it's got its up and downs. I mean, I'm sure she could tell you some stories that like I've definitely made her mad, and like I don't know, you kind of get back home, and you're like a day later or two later, you're like, you know what, it's whatever, it's fine, we're good. Well,
she's one of my favorite people in the industry.
She's pretty good.
She's great.
Such a good person. And
so patience and tell her she's right all the time, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two things. Got it.
You guys live upstate. What's the commute like for most of these shows? Because it's all like in the city. So like, what are you guys, like a couple hours away, right?
Yeah. So it's basically a 2-hour train ride. But to get to Poughkeepsie is like a 30 to 40 minute car ride. And then you hop on the train, and then you take that in Grand Central, and then you kind of disperse from there wherever the stage is. My favorite stage is Gum, just because it takes like 5 minutes to get over there from Grand Central, even though it's across the East River. But like that's great. It is a pain in the butt sometimes, the commuting.
I can only imagine, man. That's a long one.
Yeah, we do have a place in the Bronx that we rent out. There is Jonathan; he's the full-time guy there, and then there's another couple who work in the Narrative, and they both are ACs, but they have a full-time family in High Falls, so only one of them is working at a time because they have 2 kids. And then, basically the place in the Bronx is still like 30 minutes away from Grand Central.
That's smart.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Awesome.
Then.
You have that. What's the longest commute you had to do? I remember working on a show with you in Jersey.
I was about to say, is it something in South Jersey or something?
That's pretty long. I would drive anything that's not in the city. Sometimes I'll drive in the city. Like if I know it's like back to back and stuff like that, I might sleep in sleep in my truck or something like that. But if it's outside the city, I'm usually driving. Like I would prefer to drive just because you could, like with a train, you have to rely on the train schedule. You can't just be like, all right, I'm out of here. You have to be like, sometimes you miss a train at the Grand Central, then you're sitting around for an hour, until the next train comes.
So that commute home could be a nightmare sometimes, huh? Especially if you have a rough one.
Late night is rough. Yeah, late. Yeah, like so basically around like 8:30, like 7:30. It's like 8 to 8:30. They start switching over to hours, the train schedule. So like if you wrap at the stage and then all of a sudden you miss your train by like 3 minutes, and then you're sitting there for a full hour, and it really
wrap and you're just out. It's like no goodbyes. Like gotta go.
Yeah,
yeah. Dude, coming up. Like, did you ever PA?
I did. Yeah.
What was some of the shit you had to do as a PA? Because I know I've had a lot.
It wasn't
any horror stories.
Not horror story. There were some embarrassing moments. Like
do tell.
Yeah, do tell.
I did like I guess it was like I worked on a couple of reality shows before I landed on Mob Wives. But Mob Wives was kind of like where I got really cut my teeth on like the whole basically the whole industry. Production coordinator was like, yeah, go out, go to Costco. Here's $500, on the PC or actual cash. And then they would, I would go out, and then I remember not going over budget. And I was actually like $100 under or something like that. It came back, and they made me go back out to spend the extra $100 because I didn't realize. I was like, oh, you want all this gone. I thought
it's like, I'm going to budget for you.
You could please. Yeah. You could please.
I'm going to do you a favor and save you money.
Yeah.
Save you money. What are you doing? You crazy? You saved us money?
Yeah. And
buy some more ding dongs.
There's a moment where I was handed a PC card, and I didn't realize you could bypass the pin because with my personal card, I always put the pin in.
Yeah.
So I called them up. I was like, "What's the pin?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Just hit enter." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I had no idea.
Those are just growing. Those are just
those
first timer pain. Yeah,
that's not embarrassing. What else you got?
That's not embarrassing at all.
No, I don't know about embarrassing. One of my favorite stories was working for I don't even remember what it was. It was a feature film, and I actually wrote about it because I when college. I did go to trade school, and then I went to college, and I took writing most of the time, and I would just watch genres of films that that was my whole degree. Basically, it was a complete waste of time.
Like most.
Yeah, there's one time I was handed an envelope of cash, and the coordinator was like, "You got to go meet this guy on this corner." And it was the first time ever doing anything like this. And he's like, "He'll be in a white van," and I was like, "Okay." So I go, I meet this guy. He's selling his personal art out of this back of a van, and then I meet him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, we gotta load everything back in the van. We gotta drive off to B&H or something like that." And then we went to B&H, and he's like, "All right, now we need to buy this stuff." And then I went inside, took the cash in, and bought the stuff we needed. Got back in the van. He dropped me off somewhere else, because I was supposed to meet some other people or something like that. And then he just took off, and that was it. And then that whole day was kind of like that. I kind of actually wish I had, because I wrote about it in college. I kind of wish I had the paper in front of me, so I could tell you more about that. But
the paper? What do you mean?
I wrote a story. In college, I would do a lot of. I took a lot of writing classes. So I would take real life scenarios, and I would write about them. And and then I would hand them in. I would use them for my assignments, basically. And this was one of the things I wrote about, because since it was new, it was something that was exciting and something worthwhile that to take to journal or to take note of in your life.
Right, documenting real life scenario. That's cool. So the end of that story, the whole thing was like you forgot the receipts or something like that? And
no,
it was okay.
No, like, it was all good. It was more of like
the run around,
kind of like a run around, but like I'm reaching into the vaults in my memories, but like I think I ran into like some people, like just some random people that I knew or something like that, or they recognized me like from B&H, like maybe the guy at the B&H checked out, he recognized me, he like for some reason knew my name or something like that. And then like at the end of the day, it kind of wrapped all the way back around. He saw me and he's like, "Hey, no shit, Mr. Perfect. You know, like I know you. We met like, you know, earlier today." And then yeah.
You got that.
And that all really happened?
Yeah, that all really. I honestly, like, I kind of wish I had the piece of paper. I mean, I could, like, if I left for like 5 minutes, I might be able to find it. But it's yeah, I wrote it. Yeah, it was like it was kind of nuts.
That's pretty cool. The fact that you're buying all this stuff with cash.
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. In a white envelope.
No, it was like the, like, you know, the vanilla envelopes or whatever they're called. Like the,
oh gosh, I thought it was like a white envelope, like in the movies, like somebody slips you like a white envelope full of like cash.
I mean, it was basically like that.
He's like, hey, buddy, take care of this for me, huh?
Yeah,
do me a favor here. Just take this. Like go to a guy in a van, buy some art.
Yeah. No,
don't forget the receipt for production.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The earlier years on that stuff was definitely like was pretty exciting. Like I hung out with like on Mob Wives, I hung out with Scott Beardsley a lot, and I was like his, like, he would, when he'd go light for them, he'd be like, "Oh, can I get Alex?" And like we would just go like hang out, and then we would do like, you know, maybe 3 hours worth of work out of like 12 hours in a day, and then, you know, just like the rest of the time you're just doing like driving around or eating or things like that. He liked to go out to eat, so we went to like, you know, nice restaurants.
Nice.
I don't
know that, man.
Well, what a good benefit. Just
good. I mean, like, yeah, the film industry, it definitely has some good benefits. It's not all bad.
Oh, and that's what sucks us in the, you know, in the first place, right? Like I think all of us kind of like got a little bit enamored when we are experiencing like you saying, like crazy stories or like little scenarios and stuff like that all the time. Like every day is a little bit different, or you know, another kind of like, you know, thing that you have to do that normal, quote unquote, normal people really don't, you know, with their routines every day. Our days were like never routine, and you know, love that story, man. You should find that paper, or at least like you know, make a film about it or something. Like a short.
I mean, yeah, I can. It's in like I like with the like putting everything on YouTube. I with my writings, I actually like took everything off the computer and printed them out, and then so I actually had a hard copy, just for safekeeping, because I, like, you know, with technology, all of a sudden you get a new computer and you don't have it anymore. You're like, that sucks. Yep. Yeah, that was like 20 years worth of work gone.
Has there been like any like discouragements, like when you were on a show one time, it was like, fuck this, like I'm done. I'm not working in this business anymore?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, no.
Every day is an excuse, but you get over it, right? Like there's a thing. Okay,
you're like,
gotcha.
Why do I do
like
this?
5 minutes, and you're like, hold on.
Then lunch comes around.
Okay, this is actually pretty good. I like it.
The lunch comes around, or like, or sometimes it is the lunch, and you're like, screw it.
This is bad. Yeah. No, definitely. Mob Wives, I had like it was like me and another AC, where we were both PAs, and then production only picked one of us to become an AC basically for them, and then like the other person was chosen over me, so that was a turn off. I was like, this sucks, you know, because like
wait, you said there was a time where they could only like bump one of you guys up, and then you were, I see what you're saying.
And then I wasn't like, I wasn't the one who got bumped up. And like that kind of like, that was like I was like, shit, like that sucks. Cause I grew up doing, or like I started out in indie films, like kind of like short or features. And then like I was like a first and a second and stuff like that. And then when I moved made the transition over to reality, I like basically started as a PA again. So I did have knowledge. It was just wasn't worth anything in that genre.
Yeah, you gotta move yourself up like that ladder with contacts and stuff. And
yeah, exactly. Like no one knew you as an AC in that world. So they're like, all right, like we'll just use you as a PA.
Yeah. That's another reason why actually I like doing this, because you don't know, like I want to get some younger people on there that are just starting out too, just because it's like, I've met some PAs before and you're like, they kind of wow you. They're like, oh shit, like you've done this. And like, you don't know. And you just look at people as like a label, you know? And that's it. Or I've had like worked with some grips and some lighting guys that are like our amazing shooters, like, you know, and it just, you just don't know. So everyone just doesn't really get to talk about it.
Yeah. Like there's, I met her as a PA. She's like AC now, and you know, but she used to do music, so it was like you see like Heather Borden.
Got it. Okay.
She used to do like she worked as like in the music industry, so it was like, you know, all of a sudden like you have this person come on and they're starting either a new career, and then like maybe some like I personally don't treat people like shit like that, but like somebody might talk down to them and you're like, come on, like why would you do that? Like you have no idea where they're coming from, or you know,
you don't know
definitely well respected in other, you know, other places. They're just starting out new here, so you don't need to be like, hey, go get me a fucking box of color bars, will you? You know,
I can't tell when people are mean to PAs. It's like, dude, they're people and they're fucking that they got everything going on. Like I started out as a PA, and I remember actually one time I started out as like when I was doing a PA on an award show. A friend of mine who had, you know, PA'd for years, and she's like, "Why are you talking to that person?" I'm like, "Because they're a regular person. Like, you know, I'm gonna go take out their trash and say hi, and it's like whatever." And long story short, like that person hired me for the next show as like a talent fucking person in their crew. It's like you gotta talk to people. You gotta, you know, make friends. Everyone's trying to accomplish the same goal. Do your part, make a show.
Yeah, we get caught up in like, you know, I guess the culture, the bad culture of like, you know, looking out for yourself and kind of like who would forward your position and things like that. But like, yeah, it's like, it's to your point. Yeah, exactly. It's good to talk to people, and like, because they're like you keep saying, like we're all human, and this is why this is a good format for people to, you know, get to know that we're so brooding and deep, and we have feelings. But no, yeah,
this is true though. It's true though. Everyone has a different story, and it's like it's good to hear. You know,
I mean, who knew you were such a sweetheart? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or the one time in like I do fantasize about if I move on to another job, you know, another career, like being that in that position where like, yo, you talk to Alex, like, you know, he used to shoot like reality shows or something, like, you know, and just like you know, just be on the shoe on the other foot kind of a thing, with like many people that I've talked to coming in and having different careers.
Yeah,
just be nice.
I mean, it's an interesting industry that a lot of people don't know about. So like, you know, hearing like a little behind the scenes stuff of like what goes on with the crews of these shows, like, you know, millions of people watch the shows that we work on. And I mean, it's nice to know stuff other than the garbage people on screen that we get too much about. And it's like, talk about the people that actually work their ass off to make the shows, you know, like what do they do? They're really interesting people.
We all have different, you know, and that's a good thing, is that we all have different, we all lived different lives before we got to the thing that we're doing now. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's good to know, you know, just to get to know everybody, other than just a surface level type of deal that we, you know, a lot of us, we step on set and then we see somebody for like a day play or whatever, and he was great. And you're like, all right, well, again, see you when I see you, unless, you know, we could have a conversation like we're doing now. So this is, you know, good. I didn't know that about you, Alex. So like, yeah, it's great. Like you write in those stories. I think you should do more. I want to hear more of those, actually. Like you should find those papers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know where they are.
Oh, nice.
Like I have them in a folder and stuff like that. They're in like in a 3-ring binder and whatnot.
Dude, publish a book, you know,
make a blog,
yeah,
dude.
or I like somebody will find them. Be like, oh, like, yeah, I could, yeah,
make a blog, like, do something with it. Like, there's so many people that have so much talent, so many different things that they just don't put out there. And then, you know, it's the confidence thing. A lot of people that have 100% confidence, they don't do anything. And then everybody reads their stuff, everybody watches their stuff. And it's like, you got all these people that are hiding things that, you know, potentially like, you know, a lot of people would watch or read or.
Yeah, you could totally publish an ebook, if anything, without like not even a hard copy, make some money off of it, or like, you know, at least have some sort of some sort of monetary value to like, and share all these stories that I'm sure people would want to find interesting anyways.
Yeah, so. It'd be like reading who was the guy who did Dharma Road? It was Dharma Road? Dharma Bums. Jack Kerouac. It'd be kind of like, it'd be like stories like that where you're like what? I don't know.
Why not, man?
Dude,
put it out there.
Hey, man, like what I've learned of like being by myself for a long time, you know, like it's that people are actually interested in different things. Like the more you talk to people, it's like you think you have an idea that no one's gonna like, and it's a lot more people out there like you that are gonna be super interested in everything that you're interested in, you know, like when you put it out there. You just got to put it out there.
Yeah. Or they may not even know that they're interested until they hear something like that. And then it may spark an interest, and they may do a deep dive into it. And all of a sudden, you never know. Some people don't even know what they're interested in until they are introduced to it. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Anyway, but what's the best show you've worked on that you've like just walked out of, like walked into?
Great transition.
That was
great. It's very smooth.
You're gonna make me start crying over here. I gotta.
no, go ask the question. Sorry, go ahead. I need some levity.
So the show that felt good.
Yeah, that you just felt good on. Both walking in and walking out, like.
I mean, like, unless I know the crew or like I usually always like, or the show really well, I usually always have like a little bit of nervousness or like butterflies in like, you know, just first day kind of thing. Next in Fashion was like, that was a really fun show. I thought that was like, that just looked good. It felt good shooting it. Sometimes, it'd be like, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of a pain in the butt, but they were good at, like, the director didn't care that if we were doing like 4-hour sewing, you know, sessions, he would be like, yeah, you want to go on sticks, I don't care if it doesn't match any other camera. Like, you know, he didn't give a shit. Like, so he was like, he was, you know, you'd be, but I mean, like, I would prefer to be on handheld because it'd be like, if you had to go into a scene, it would be kind of a pain in the butt to move around a pair of sticks, you know?
Sure.
But like, definitely there were times where you're like, yes, like I'm going on sticks. I'm going to stay here for like an hour and then like, I'll go back on handheld. But that show felt pretty good. The Texas, the barbecue brawl in Texas was pretty fun. Like that show felt pretty good walking in on.
Do you have like a proudest moment, or, you know, like something that you, like even if it was like a day or a scenario that pops in your head that like, that was like, you know, I did good today. Like, you know, like this was, I'm very proud of whatever that is.
I got on that show, on the barbecue brawl in Texas, we were using 50 to 1000s. And
handheld?
No, we were
Got you.
And there was a full moon, and I shot the full moon. And that was like, I was proud of that one. And then I another show was in did another show in Virginia, and I happened to be on 51,000s again, and another full moon, and I actually got a second full moon.
Nice.
So you throw the doubler in, and then you could center crop, and you could like I mean, the center crop wasn't usable, like, you know, for the show, but I mean, it was Bagels was like, dude, throw the center crop in. I want to see how close you can get to that moon, and like you were like right on it, like craters, everything. Like it was fucking
4,000. It turns into like a 4,000 or like something more, right? Whatever that calculation. Yeah, it must have looked nuts. Yeah,
I mean, it was
using
insane.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But like to me, I was just worth it to be like, because like no one, they were they were shooting like winter announcements for the day, and like no one like everybody was just hovering over Bagel's like monitor, his onboard, just watching the moon just like go back and forth between the frame.
Oh,
like you just like Bagels every compliment Bagels be like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, you know, like he's like, are you moving it? And I'm like, no. He's like, you know, because like the moon, like when that close, it's like it's actually moving really fast. Like,
yeah, well, it's awesome. Actually not the moon's not moving. We're moving. The Earth's moving.
Yeah, and the moon's
actually crazy.
Us.
Yeah,
that's funny. The most interesting thing that day was Bagels
shooting a moon.
Yeah, not the show itself. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Whenever you get this, like, I would only watch, like, I don't watch the shows that you shoot most of the time. It's just like sometimes I like to get in there and see what they actually use from like a B-roll shot that you get.
Same thing. Yeah,
I'll only look for the B-roll stuff because like when you're shooting with like 12 other cameras or something, like
it's hard to pick out what your shots are.
Out where you're at because everyone's switching off and trading and stuff like that. But B-roll, when they when I shoot a B-roll shot and I'm like, yeah, I hope they use this, and then they do, it's like, it's a fucking good feeling, you know?
It's a good feeling, especially when you catch those moments and stuff like that. If you knew you were like one of two cameras or something like that, it's good. But like I stopped, I do that now to like study almost, just to see like, all right, this is what they use and blah, blah, blah. But then like eventually I stopped every now and then because like it would just like piss me off. It was like, that's what you used? Like I was on the shoulder for 4 hours with that, like, like it's like 2 seconds. And then you went to commercial. So like, I stopped doing that for a while.
Or you know, it's a steady shot, and all of a sudden, like it's the one time you blink, and then they stand up, and then like, and then they get out of your frame, and you're like, and you're all like,
they like shifty, that. They like that.
They're like, oh, let's use that part.
Like, the chaos, but you know, looking at it is like, dude, I wasn't even set yet. What are you doing?
Yeah, but it looked
like,
real.
I was clearly bubbling.
Right.
Anyway, Alex, we're gonna leave off with some advice. What some advice did you give anybody to like starting out?
Inspiration time.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged. Even though, I mean, like, definitely, I mean, I get discouraged, but I would say push on.
It's terrible. Start over. Don't say you get.
I know. One more time.
Get discouraged, you know.
Take two.
Take two. I'm terrible. Don't take advice from me. That's terrible. I work in
advice. Go outside. See some nature.
Yeah, balance, right?
Nature.
Yeah, balance.
Life balance.
Balance. Get your day rate, whatever that means to you. Definitely. I work. A lot of people, I feel, also in this industry, they work to work, but I work to play. That doesn't mean I don't care about what I do or like what my images look like or anything like that. But like my priority is to work in order for me to have fun like somewhere else. That's like that's the point of it.
You work to have fun living.
Yeah. Right. Don't make your work your life.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna cut. This was great, but stay on. We're gonna chat after this.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Bye everybody.
Thanks to all the 6 people that are listening.
Yeah.
That's 12.